Hey guys, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. We're going to be talking about respect and relationships today and the importance of doing that. You know, in order to have a healthy relationship, there has to be a mutual level of respect and consideration in your relationship dynamic. It's an absolute necessity. And a lot of couples actually lack this. And as a result, their communication can be really unhealthy, their interactions and dynamics, and it can really affect even, those other core foundations of what makes a healthy relationship. It can affect their intimacy. If they're lacking respect, it can affect maybe some trust issues, honesty things. There's just a lot of negative aspects can really happen if you don't have the core foundation of mutual respect. And really, respect means a lot of things for a lot of different couples, and I think you guys have to decide what the definition of respect is for you. But I want to talk a little bit about at least my relationship and what I deem to be respectful. I've been with my husband for 16 years since high school, and over time, we have been able to kind of develop some rules and ground rules that we feel are respectful towards one another. And some of these rules that we are living by now are 100% what we live by from day one. And so I wanted to tell you some things that really have worked for us, and hopefully you can assess to see if you've been doing that, or if you aren't, maybe you can implement that into your relationship. So the first thing that is so important for you to do, something that I have done and my partner has done from day one, is you have to communicate kindly to one another. What does that mean? It means you don't yell, you don't curse, you don't call names, okay? You have to communicate kindly. Even if you're in an argument and you're frustrated, any type of yelling or cursing at one another is really unhealthy and something that you shouldn't do. It doesn't resolve the situation, it doesn't help the situation, and it really has you and your partner resorting to communication styles that aren't going to be helpful, in terms of resolving the problem. So why do it? Don't yell, don't be disrespectful. That's huge. You also want to be honest with one another. This is something that I definitely did not do in the beginning of our relationship, and same with my partner. He struggled with some honesty issues, and it really had a detriment in our relationship, years down the road. And so we are living by the fact of that we need to be 100% open and honest with each other, but everything that we feel, things that we think, even if it's at the risk of having, an argument or a disagreement. Because in order to have a healthy relationship, you have to be authentic. You have to put 100% self in the relationship. That's what makes it healthy. You have to be you, your partner has to be your partner, and you guys have to decide if 100% of each other is what you want to be with and what you want to have a relationship with. If you're hiding things, then your partner is misinformed about everything about who you are, and vice versa. So you need to have 100% transparency, so your other half really knows you and can make the decision if he or she wants to continue being in the relationship. And another way to show honesty with each other or respect with each other, is compromise. You need to compromise in a relationship, and that shows respect. It shows that you're able to take into consideration what your partner thinks, and your partner's able to do the same thing. You have to compromise. You have to come to an agreement where both of you guys can be happy. That's really, really key. And then also encourage each other's interests. That's really a big part of being respectful. You're not always going to agree what your partner maybe wants to do with his or her life, or maybe they're going to make decisions that you don't think are necessarily decisions that you would make for yourself, but you want to be encouraging and you want to be supportive. As long as it's not going to be at the detriment of your relationship or impact you guys in a negative way, sometimes you need to support your partner in making his or her own decisions, as long as it makes them happy and it fulfills who they are. So being encouraging is a huge way of being respectful. Also, listen with intention. Make sure that you're listening to what your partner is telling you and being quiet and not interrupting. These are huge ground rules that we had from the beginning and we continue to do through now. Obviously, we make some mistakes here and there. I feel like I'm more so sometimes wanting to interject and interrupt at times, but I always catch myself and make sure that I'm quiet and I zip my mouth while he is talking, because whatever he's talking about really is important for him, and I want to give him the floor and the space to be able to do that. So you want to listen and you want to shut your mouth and really take in what they have to say, especially during a disagreement and an argument, because your partner wants to feel heard, just like you want to feel heard. So make sure that you're taking turns in listening and then talking when it's appropriate. And the last way to be respectful is you just need to give personal space when desired. Yes, you are a couple and you love each other and you want to be together as much as possible. But sometimes in relationships, we need to have that personal space. So a form of respect is giving your partner time to be able to, do his or her own thing, hang out with their friends, do some hobbies that are by themselves. Just giving that space and letting them know that you love them and you care for them and you support them and you want them to be happy. So if they need some time doing what they do by themselves, give them that time. And while that happens, you take your time for yourself as well. We always have to have that individual space and work on ourselves so we can be better partners with our significant others and have the best relationship and the healthiest relationship possible. And so out of the list that I just gave you, I also want you guys to come up with your own definitions and rules of what you think respect is in your relationship. Because like I said, it's different for everybody. So come up with your own things of what you think needs to happen in order to, show each other mutual respect. And I'd love to hear some of your ideas and what works for you as a couple and what you think is respectful for one another. So feel free to comment below. Let me know what those respect rules are. I'd love to hear it, and you'll be able to help other couples as well have happier and healthier relationships. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.